Hello, hello. Welcome in the live. We're going to get ready to get started. I got to go ahead and mirror my background so you guys can see this properly. There we go. How you guys doing this afternoon? It is Friday. Hey, Cad, how are you? I think I recognize your name from my other live. We're on day 2. I'm super excited to be diving into day 2 of our training. Do me a favor and tap with the screen when you get in the live. Feel free to send a gift. My goal is to get to 5,000 hearts today. How are you today? All right, we're going to get ready to get started in just a second. Got to be able to see the board. There we go. Now you can see the board a little better. How you guys doing today? If you've never seen my face before, I'm Tamia Denise. I help female entrepreneurs to build online businesses that they love using my proven marketing strategies and tactics. And essentially, we are on a 30-day journey of helping you to be able to build your online business utilizing my business model of building a remote cleaning business as a single mom who went through a divorce and lost my corporate job. And yet, and still, by the grace of God, I was able to build a remote cleaning business, scaling it to 40K literally in a couple of months. And so I'm here to be able to assist you in your process of building an online business in this 30-day challenge. And so I appreciate you if you're already following me. But in every live that you join, I'm making my business to make sure that I'm sharing with you not just the outskirts of what you need to know when it comes to building your online business, but I'm sharing with you the insides of what you need to know, the meat of what you need to know. And so when you come into the live, please let me know where you're watching from if you don't mind. And also make sure that you tap up the screen. That lets TikTok know that I am live, and I want to go ahead and invite some people to the broadcast. So your support is definitely appreciated. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into day 2. We are in day 2. Yesterday, we talked about the importance of the vision and the vehicle, right? Choosing your business model. And so if you were in yesterday's training, you had some marching orders, you had some homework, you had some action steps that you needed to make sure that you were working out essentially, right? Because what's the point of just taking in a training, right? The thing that matters most when you're watching people and you're trying to get from your point A to your point B, the thing that matters most is what you implement at the end of what it is that you receive when you have free trainers that you go to, even paid ones, right? And so if you buy a ticket to a movie, you go to the movie and then you tell other people about the movie, right? There's some action steps that you have to anything that you do and absolutely enjoy in life. Just so we can have just a quick recap if you were not here yesterday. As I mentioned, we talked about the vision and the vehicle, right? Choosing your business model. Your homework was to come up with a business model, to write it down and connect it to who it is that you essentially want to serve in your business. Why is this important? Is important because of the fact that you have to make sure that you understand that your business model connects to your brand, right? That is your vehicle that's going to help your business to be able to get to exactly where it needs to be. All right. So from that particular teaching that we did yesterday, we talked about the importance of making sure that your business is connected to your lifestyle and also to the skills that you have every single day, right? Then we talked about my 3S strategy, right? 3S's strategy, essentially a combination of different S words that I came up with that would essentially help you to be able to connect to your particular business model, right? Is your business model or the business that you want to do in particular, is it simple? Is it scalable and also satisfying? We talked about that as well. So all of these were key components to go ahead and lead us into day 2. Today, we're going to be talking about building your foundation. We're still at the foundation of building that online business, right? And we talked about the importance of building that business model because today we're going to talk about setting up your brand plus your offer. A lot of times with beginner entrepreneurs, the first thing that we oftentimes do, which is something that I talked about yesterday, is that we start off by creating our businesses and automatically having shiny syndrome, okay? Shiny object syndrome is what we talked about, right? And the reason why we have shiny object syndrome is because we don't understand really how to connect to the businesses that we have in terms of the things that really matter. We only go off of what we know to go off of. Maybe we see somebody that has a brand that totally inspires us, which is absolutely fine. But at the same time, you have to understand that there are so many different things that have to go into your business that matter. It's like having an engine, but you don't have a car to put it into, or having a vehicle, but you don't have an engine to put to put inside of the car that you actually have. Okay. So when we talk about building an online business, our brand is something that is super duper important. Okay. And when you have something that is connected to your brand, the one thing that you want to have is clarity. All right. Clarity is something that is very, very important. So you want to know that you have a brand that you're 100% clear about because you want to know who are the people essentially that you serve, right? Who are you solving a problem for as a business owner? Who are you solving a problem for as a business owner? Okay. So that's the foundation of where you want to stand. You want to have brand clarity. Okay. Who do you serve? Right? And who are you solving a problem for as a business owner? Because really, you're not a business owner unless you're solving a problem. That's something that sometimes we don't realize. If you have a business and you're not solving problems, then essentially you have a hobby, okay? Now, I think that it's important that you understand that you have to have an offer. What are you offering the people that you're solving a problem for, okay? So there's a simple formula that I created for you that I want you to remember when you're thinking about and positioning your particular offer. Okay. Everything in business has a formula. Everything in business has a strategy. Okay. Because strategies is what's going to give you structure and it's going to help you to get to exactly where it is that you need to be. All right. So the structure and the offer that we're going to go ahead and write out, okay, in terms of having a strategy first, should I say, is that there is a problem. We're going to connect the pain point of your customer's problem to a solution, okay, which is essentially going to get them results. And not only are they going to get results, but then you're going to get a prize too, okay? And that's that they're going to want to pay you for whatever it is that you're doing as a service, okay? And so to that point, you have a problem, a solution, a result, and a price. That's how you're going to position your offer. And this is the formula that you're going to go ahead. Hey there, Deluxury. This is the formula that you're going to go ahead and you're going to put this formula in place, okay? This is a simple offer formula. This is a strategy. Every business owner should have a strategy. Your strategy is what is going to give you a structure, okay? So we're talking about the importance of having that brand clarity, right? What problem do you solve and for who do you solve those problems for? Who is your audience? Who is your targeted audience that you're in business for? Remember, if you do not know who you are solving on the basis of the pain points that they have, you have a hobby, right? As a business owner, we are creating solutions for the people that we essentially are helping every single day. Okay, so then we came up with a simple offer. Everything that you see that I will do would always have a level of simplicity to it. Why? Because we need simplicity as business owners to be able to crack the code of our businesses and how we want to structure our businesses. So when you're creating an offer, you are going to essentially utilize this formula, right? You have your customers, you have your clients, they have problems, right? You as the business owner, you have solutions, right? They want to get results, and what you do with your offer is you present a price. That's where your customers essentially will see value. So for example, I'm going to give you an example of offer, okay, that can be put in front of particular customers. So me as an online remote business owner, essentially, this is the offer that I can put in front of my clients. Remember this structure. Remember this formula. I help homeowners who hate cleaning get consistent luxury level cleaning without lifting a finger, starting at $199. That's the offer that I am positioning, okay? So when people are looking for a cleaning business in particular, right? And let's say I'm running an ad on Facebook. This is the copy. That's what we call in the business world, in terms of like when you essentially have. I'm trying to break this down in the easiest way. When you essentially have almost like an ad, the words that you put on that particular ad is called copy in the business world, essentially. Okay, so I'm going to write this out. Okay, we're going to keep it super simple. So your copy would be, I help homeowners. This is if you have a cleaning business, okay? Who hate, you see the problem in there? This is something that your customer absolutely can't stand doing, okay? Your customer hates cleaning. They don't want to do that. That is their pain point, right? And then here's the value that you're putting in. And I want to write this out so we can see it. And you can also screenshot this. And I could write this out before we even start, but I definitely think that it's way more interactive when we can do it just like this. Almost there. Without lifting a finger. Almost there. Okay, because I want you to see the copy written out. Remember, copy is the wording that we put into our offers, essentially, before we put them or position them in front of our customers, okay? Especially if you're running ads. It's something that's super duper important, okay? All right, so let's read that again. I help homeowners who hate cleaning get consistent luxury level cleaning without lifting a finger, starting at $199, okay? So this is the offer. This is what it is that the customers essentially are going to see, right? I help homeowners who hate cleaning get consistent luxury level cleaning without lifting a finger, starting at $199, all right? This is the offer. This is the positioning. This is what the customer is going to see. So once again, we have that formula when we're positioning our offer. It's essentially telling our customers and our clients what we can do to help, right? We know that there's a problem. The customer hates cleaning, right? I want to be able to help my targeted audience, okay, the people that I want to be able to connect to, which are homeowners, get consistent luxury level cleaning. That is the solution. Where the result is you don't have to even lift a finger, right? And then I'm going to position the pricing. So when you're thinking about putting together, thank you so much, Coach Jennifer. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So when you think about just positioning the offer, you have to think about putting value into it. It has to have the solution. You have to identify the problem, and then you got to put value on it. I think a lot of times, most oftentimes, because of imposter syndrome and other things that we deal with as business owners, we want to put a price out there. I saw something that was so powerful on social media today. It literally said, if Tiffany and Co. can literally sell, I think they sell like gold paper clips, and they sell them for like $1,200. If they can sell a $1,200 jewelry paper clip or whatever the heck it is, surely you can sell your service. Surely, because people will buy that paper clip because of that brand, right? Tiffany and Co. has been around forever. And my thing is, a lot of times with these brands, who deemed them to be valuable? They did. They had faith in their brand enough to say, you know what? We're going to create this $1,200 paper clip jewelry, right? And then go ahead and post it on our website, run some ads to it, put some models wearing it, right? Send it to a couple of celebrities, let them know that they can have it for free if they go ahead and wear it to the next red carpet, and then it's deemed as valuable, right? Your perception is everything. How you see yourself is how the world is going to see you. How you see your particular brand is how the world is going to see it. So most oftentimes, you got to believe in your brand. You have to believe in your offer first. You have to know the value of what it is that you're offering. And essentially, I believe that the value that we offer as business owners connects to whatever it is our mission is, right? And it also connects to the people that we want to go ahead and have the opportunity to be able to help. All right. So today, if you're just coming in the room, please do me a favor. Make sure that you tap the screen so that TT knows that I am live, so we can go ahead and get the live out there. My goal is to get to 1,000 likes, and then we'll take it up from there. Okay. 1,000 hearts, should I say, on the screen. All right. So if you're just coming into the building, this is day 2 of our 30-day challenge of building an online business. We are utilizing my business model, which is a remote cleaning business. As a single mom of 3 who lost her corporate job, I had the opportunity to create this particular business from scratch and scale it 100% to 40K in a couple of months. All right. And I'm sharing with you the meat of what it is that you need to build your online business as well. All right. So we talked about brand clarity. All right. We talked about the simplicity of putting a formula and an offer in place. Do not allow for these structures to be something that's intimidating, because like I said in the training yesterday, a lot of times we have shiny object syndrome. All we want to focus on in our businesses is the logos and the colors. No, in order for you to have a viable business that passes that mark of failing, and not getting past 5 years, if you structure your business the right way and have a full understanding of how you're building your business from the foundation, you can be sure that you have a business that absolutely scales 100%. All right. So moving forward, we're on to the next part. We went ahead, we have brand clarity. We have a simple offer structure. Anytime you're getting ready to put together an offer, you want to think about this particular structure: problem, solution, result, price. Okay. And don't you skip on that price. That price essentially connects to how you value your business. And it's not that you're trying to get over on anyone. If you value your business, then you will make sure that you position the price. Obviously, there's some marketing research that you have to do. When you have a remote cleaning business, you want to call around before you even start to create a pricing structure to at least 10 businesses. You want to find out in your area, in your vicinity where you want to serve, what are other people charging essentially? What are they positioning their particular pricing as, right? And so it's important to do market research. You don't want to just go ahead and throw your typical business in Chat GPT and ask for Chat to give you an answer. You want to do the legwork from the foundation. Building a business takes work. I don't care what industry you're in, but when you want to structure your business, as I said, the right way, and you want to build your foundation, you're just going to go ahead and put the work in from the beginning so you can do stuff the right way, so that you don't have to go back later and try to kind of work through a mess. Okay. And so not to skip ahead, even when it comes to building your business entity, try to figure out what your business is going to be structured as. Don't just throw something together. Okay. go ahead, do the research that's necessary so you can do things right from the foundation. And then when you start to scale the business, you're not at a place where you're trying to kind of like work through the paperwork to try to figure out what you did from the foundation when you were just trying to throw something together. Being a business owner is about making sure that things are being done right. Why? Because people are trusting you essentially with whatever it is that you're offering them. Okay. Which brings us back to this part of what we're building out in our day 2 of building an online business. Okay. So we have our simple offer formula, right? We know who it is that we're talking to. We know their problem. We have the solution. We know what the end result is going to be, and we position our price, okay? Another example of an offer that you could put together for a digital product. And if you were here yesterday, can you tell me in the comments when it comes to selling digital products, because all we're talking about is online businesses, what type of business is connected to digital products? Do you guys know? What type of business is connected to digital products? That particular business model that's connected to digital products is actually called a product-based business. So if you sell digital products, you have a product-based business. Okay, that's your business model. That's your vehicle that you're riding in particular, and there are several others. Okay, so the next part that we want to make sure that we're focusing on in the foundation of building our online business is choosing a business name. Okay, we want to go ahead and choose a business name. Now, remember, this didn't come at the very beginning, right? We talked about some other foundational things, right? Plus, we want to go ahead and set up our business basics. That's what I told you. When we setting up a business, we want to do it the right way from the beginning. Just do it the right way. It does take some grit, but this is your baby, right? And the last time I checked, when it comes to mothers, they take care of what's theirs. They make sure that it's fed and clothed and all the things. So we want to do the same thing when it comes to building our business. We want to choose a business name. I left that out. And then go ahead and set up the basics of our business, all right? So the basics of your business, initially I wasn't going to mention this, but this connects to the business entity since I had brought it up. I might talk about this deeper. We need to, all right? So what kind of business structure do you want to have? Do you want to be an LLC? Do you want to be a sole proprietor type of business? Do you want to be an S Corp? And I mean, when you start getting into S Corp and C Corp, that's later on, okay? Later on down the road. But you need to do research to figure out what umbrella you want your business to be protected under. Most new business owners usually are under sole proprietorship, or either they're under a single member LLC. Why do we need to make sure that we have entities in terms of our businesses? Because essentially when you have an LLC, that LLC has the opportunity to protect your own personal assets, which is something that is very, very important, okay? You don't want to begin to scale your business and everything is in your name, right? Let's say, for instance, we utilize the remote cleaning business that I have. God forbid there's a contractor that's on a job, right? And the contractor ends up messing up something on the job, right? They want to make sure, because when I hire contractors, all right, that essentially they have insurance and they also have an LLC, so that whatever it is that they broke in the unit or whatever it is that they broke on the job, even though there's a whole backdrop in terms of how you have to set up your insurance when you're a business owner, you hire contractors. That's another story for another day. But essentially the point that I want to paint is you want to make sure that your business insurance and then also your LLC is active so that whatever it is that's broken can be restored. Let's say they're working in a multi-million-dollar house, right? You want to be bonded, you want to be insured, and you also want to make sure that you have that entity protecting you, which is why it is very, very important that we structure our business the right way, right? And aside from that, we talked about having a business name. How do you want your business to be identified? Okay, so for example, you might want to incorporate your name because you want to be able to maybe have like a legacy in place when it comes to your particular business. Take some time to sit down. You could get the help of ChatGPT with that in particular, but take some time so that you can sit down and figure out what that business name is going to be. In addition, you could utilize a name in particular that helps people to be able to identify what it is that you do as a business owner. Okay, so when it comes to making sure that you choose that business name, just take a couple of minutes to be able to do it. And then we talked about setting up the basics that connects to you having an entity, an LLC, right? What type of business structure are you going to have? All right. Another thing that's super duper important for your business is making sure that you obtain an EIN number. All right. This EIN number, I look at it likened to be like a social security number, essentially, right? And it helps your business to be identified in the long run, because most people don't realize that you have to make sure that in order for you to be able to be legit and to start to build something called business credit, it's also called several other different things. But that's the first word that I can think about right now. You have to have these things structured in your business. Like, in order for you to open up a business bank account, you have to have an EIN, and you also have to have papers that essentially tell the state or that particular bank that your business is legit, right? It's called articles of incorporation, okay, or organization. So all of these different things are important. And that leads me to this part. Do you have a business bank account? All right. All you have to do is Google a business bank account. In particular, you can, put what are the top 5 business bank accounts. I won't give any in particular because there are like literally so many, and you still have to do your own research when it comes to trying to figure out what works best for you. All right. So for me, I have about 2 different business bank accounts for my remote cleaning business. All right. And so it's super duper important that you structure your business bank accounts the best way that you see fit for how you want your business to work. One thing that I tell people to make sure that you do is, if you want, or in particular that you want to eventually go to a particular bank to get business credit or to have business credit cards down the line or to get a business loan, really do research on that particular bank to see if that bank that you're building relationship with is a good bank to be able to get a loan from, right? Because you're putting your money in that bank so that they can be a steward over that bank. But at the same time, you want there to be an exchange. You want there to be relationships so that you can go to them and tell them what it is that you need for your business. All right, so then we're going to talk about some of the other foundational things. We might not have any space on the board here. But when you are thinking about the business basics, when you're thinking about starting an online business, it's important for you to research a domain name, okay? So a domain name, essentially, in the simplest way put, is almost like a house, okay, for your business. It's a house for your business, okay? So essentially, you can type in Google domain name, all right? And there's several hosting platforms where you can find your domain name. One that I could think of in particular is called Namecheap. Okay, Namecheap. If you go ahead and you go to namecheap.com, you can obtain a domain name there. And not only that, but then you can get a dual bundle essentially, and then you can get a business email address, which is something that is very important. Very, very important. A Gmail is fine, but you look like a business when you actually have a business email. And to obtain a business email that's connected to your domain name is not expensive, okay? So your domain name might be, let's say, lucy'scleaning.com. All right, lucy'scleaning.com, okay? And then your email address, which is the business email address, would be hello@lucy'scleaning.com. Okay? And the reason why you can utilize a professional email like that is because you have, you now own that particular domain name. So it's the house that houses your particular website. And essentially, that's where people will have the opportunity to be able to connect to you and identify your business. It's like your little space of paradise on the internet, essentially. That's how I like to identify that, okay? So if you have an online business, remember I talked about the importance of having a website, which is why you obtain a domain name in particular. But a lot of times people don't have like, some people do, but let's say you're selling digital products. You don't necessarily need to have a whole website for digital products. You could actually utilize something called StanStore. Okay, so StanStore is almost like what we call a landing page. Okay, this is where people will land, and this is where they can find out information. So you might have your bio where you tell people a little bit about you. Let's say you have a product-based business where you're selling digital products. And then you can have your offers. You might have like another link to consultations with you. And then of course, you're making your money with your digital products. All right, which is why you want to go ahead and create a domain name. Okay. Then next, some of the other places where you can go ahead and kind of create a simple landing page. Remember I said that's what StanStore is. It's a store, but it's also a landing page, is on Canva. If you type in landing pages or bio links on Canva, then you'll be able to see, is that Terrell in the building? Hey, how are you? Then you'll be able to see essentially that you can go ahead inside of the Canva platform and create the same kind of landing page effect. All right. So either you can use Canva, you can utilize StanStore, you can utilize System.io. I feel like System.io is like way too complicated, and I like to keep things super duper simple. All right. So just as a quick recap before you get your information in terms of the things that you need to implement, because we don't have time to just be jotting a couple of things down, right? We need to make sure that we're implementing at the end of the day. Implementation is what's going to help us to get to the bag when we're building an online business, right? So let's do a quick recap, right? We want to build the foundation of our business. We want to set up our brand plus our offer. When you're offering something, then you're a real business owner, okay? You can't be out here on these streets talking about you have a business and you have nothing to offer people. You look crazy. That's called a hobby at the end of the day. It is very, very important for us to make sure that we have something that we want to offer our customers and our clients, right? And so when you're offering people something, then you want to make sure that you are solving their problem. You have a solution, you have a result that they're going to give, and then you are making sure that you're putting value on what you're offering by making sure that you put a price. You can't be intimidated by that part. We talked about how Tiffany, okay, is selling a paperclip right now for $1,200. Why? Because they believe in their brand. All right. They're out here in these streets selling a paperclip for $1,200. If Tiffany & Co. can sell a paperclip for $1,200, then why can't you sell your particular offer? Why can't you sell your offer? You can. But sometimes we have imposter syndrome and we don't understand the value that we have because we're not connecting our businesses to becoming solutions to people's problems. So it's just something in terms of our mindset, right? And so we had an example of an offer. I help homeowners who hate cleaning, okay, get consistent luxury level cleaning without lifting a finger. And then this is the price, okay? We saw so many different things in this particular offer. You have to make sure, I cannot stress it enough, that when you are posting offers for people, I don't care if you have a TikTok page, I don't care if you have a website or a landing page, that they are clear about what it is that you're offering. Because in that offer, there's a problem, there's a solution, a result, and a price, okay? We can identify that in this particular offer, okay? I help you, the business owner. Your business helps the homeowners, that's your targeted audience, who hate cleaning. That's the problem, right? Then you want to get to the solution. Get consistent luxury level cleaning without lifting a finger, okay? That's why they're going to hire you right there. because you gave them the solution to their problem, and then you want to position the price. Very, 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 very important, right? And a lot of times, I'm not hating on nobody on TikTok. I don't care what other people are doing. Do what you do and do it best. But a lot of times, this right here, this is not taught. It's the shiny object syndrome a lot of times when people are out here teaching. And then you get, their program, or either you're trying to build your business and you don't understand that this connects to your marketing. Right? Now that you bought their product, now that you bought their service, now that you're starting that business, how the heck are you going to sell it? You have to have the mentality and the mindset to know how to go ahead and position an offer. But sometimes people get away from this, right? How do you position your offer so that you can sell it? So sell whatever it is that you have a business in. So then we talked about the importance of choosing your business name, which connects to your brand, which connects to the reason why in our day one, we talked about having a business model, the vision and the vehicle, right? Choosing our particular model so that then we know where we're going, who we serve, right? That's what we had homework yesterday, to where as you were choosing your business model, okay, your brand, how are people going to be able to identify you so you can help to solve their problem, all right? So you want to go ahead and choose your business name. You want to then set up the basics of your business. What is your business entity going to be? Your LLC. Why do we have LLCs? Because LLCs help to protect us as business owners. If something goes wrong, 100% in your business, you don't want them people coming after what you got. You can tell them, you go after the LLC, right? You go after the LLC because of the fact that me and the LLC are completely separate. That's why we have LLCs for our business. And if you're one of these business owners that have 15 different businesses under one LLC, please go get you 15 different LLCs. Because if something happens with one business and you got 15 businesses in that one, they're coming after every business that's under that LLC to come get their money if there's some kind of issue. And a lot of times we don't know that. I know I have been guilty of that when I just started. I was like, shoot, this one LLC is costing me $250 to file every year in Atlanta, and I don't want to pay that, right? Because I'm the business owner. I got to pay all the bills. But then I realized, I said, man, if something goes wrong in my remote cleaning business with regards to one of the cleaners, or something is broken, right, in one of the customers' houses, oh, shoot, all of these different other businesses that I have under this one LLC, they're going to come after all of that. So these things are important to know when we're building our business, right? We want to have the basics of business. You want to choose what you want your business structure to be, okay? Are you going to be an LLC, an S Corp, and a C Corp? And all of these have different functions, okay? Depending upon how you are running your business and how much income you have coming in, all right? And one thing that I tell people is you want to start from the foundation, like do research, put it in ChatGPT. What would be the best structure for a beginner business? Ask ChatGPT, do some reading, do some research, go to your state's website, okay? All of the different things, all of the information is on the internet. If you really want it and you want to build it correctly, it is all there. Then we want to be able to get an EIN number. That's easy to obtain, and it is also free. And you have to have that LLC, if that's your business structure, and EIN number, in order to get a business bank account. If you try to go get a business bank account and you don't have articles of incorporation or organization connected to an EIN number, they're going to look at you like you're crazy, because they don't respect you as an actual business. So if you've been selling things online and you don't have your business structure together, you're doing yourself a disservice. And not only that, but then later on down the road, let's say you want to scale the business and you want to be able to buy different things for the business, right? Or obtain some kind of funding. You can't do that without making sure that your business is in order. These are the basics of business, essentially, okay? And then we get to the fun part that we love, the shiny object syndrome things as business owners, right? And so we have to go ahead and obtain a domain name. When you think about a domain name, think about the place where your particular website is housed. That's how people are going to identify your business. So for example, you might have lucy'scleaningbusiness.com. That's your domain name. All right. And then it's important to make sure that you have a professional email address. So your email address that's connected to that domain name might be hello@lucy'scleaningbusiness.com. All right. And you want to be able to have things professionally done and structured in your business. At gmail.com is fine and it's cute when you first start. But when you're going after loans, right, and you're dealing with customers and clients, you want them to know that you're the truth. Like you're the real deal. You're a for real business owner, right? So people take you serious. All right. So then we want to talk about some more business basics, setting up your online business. We want to be able to create a lead page, a landing page. Essentially, once you tell people about your online business, where are you going to send them? Where are you going to send them, right? You wouldn't tell somebody to come to your house without giving them the address. Where's the address? Where's the place that you're sending them to? You're sending them to your domain name, right? When you're on TikTok Live, check out my products and my services, hit the link in my bio. Well, where are the people going? They're going to go to your landing page, okay? And on your landing page, you'll have your bio, more information about who you are and what you do, right? That goes back to the brand clarity. Who do you serve? And who are you serving in particular? Like whose pain points are you fixing? These things are 100% important. So you can have your bio inside of your landing page, your offer. We talked about the offer and the different formula and strategy or structure that we want to be able to have in everything that we're offering. Does it connect to the customer or the client's problem? Does it give them a solution, a result? And then you can't be afraid to name your price, okay? And then you might have something in there about consultations, okay? If you're a business coach, if you teach online business like me, it's important that you have these things, 100%. And then if you're offering digital products because you love that particular business model of offering products as your particular business, right? You have a product-based business, then you're going to put some digital products inside of your store, okay? So this is the end of our day 2 training, but I always make sure that anybody that I'm connecting to when I'm teaching, that you understand that you have to implement what it is that you're being told. You'll never get anywhere. Okay? If you do not learn how to be an action taker, you will be stuck. As the new year comes in, you will be stuck. When people are making money, you will be stuck. And that's not something that I'm trying to speak over to you. It's the reality of sometimes where we find ourselves. And most oftentimes we have to meet complete strangers that tell us the truth about ourselves because of the fact that we're not intimidated by you, because really we don't know you like that. And all I know is that we're in the last quarter. And if you don't start implementing before this new year comes in, your next year is going to look very similar to this year. And that's 100% the truth. Okay. Some of us have already had reruns of what the same year looks like. And nobody's trying to do that again. Times are hard if we can talk in reality, and we want more for ourselves and for our family members, 100%. Okay. And so once again, we talked about building your foundation. Yesterday, we talked about the foundation of your business, making sure that you're choosing your business model if you're building out an online business. Today, we talked about some foundational things. What is your offer going to look like, right? Do you have brand clarity, right? Do you know who it is that you're serving? What are the problems that you're going to serve, all right? For your people. We put together an offer formula. A lot of business owners miss this. They don't understand that, yeah, I can go ahead and buy whatever it is that this person is telling me that, I can buy and sell, or I can start this business, but how the heck are you going to market it? You have to understand almost like the laws of how business works. In your offer, you better be connecting to people's pain points and offering them solutions. Because if you don't, they can't identify you. So if you are having a hard time selling, it's probably because your offer is not positioned the right way. And this is a great solution to making sure that you have a formula every single time you put an offer out there, 100%. Okay. So I know I have some action takers, 100%. Okay. That are watching me. And so I want you, if you have a pen or you can just grab the notes on your phone, and you're going to be joining me for the next 30 days to build your online business. Because y'all see, I'm not playing, right? I'm putting all of the information that you need to be able to build this business right in front of you. Okay. I see a couple of people dropped off the live, which is usually what happens when you get to the action takers part, but I'm still going to put the information out here, right? So your homework is going to be write your I help statement. Okay. Whose problems are you solving? How are you going to go ahead and help these people? Remember, I said I help homeowners who hate cleaning get consistent luxury level cleaning without lifting a finger. All right. This is identifying the targeted audience, homeowners. Okay. And that's what I want you to do for your I help statement. Next, you're going to draft one clear offer. All right. What do you want to sell? You're going to put an offer together, offering that to the people that you want to sell it to, essentially. So if you have a service, this is a service-based offer. I help homeowners who hate cleaning get consistent luxury level cleaning without lifting a finger, starting at $199. This is a service-based business offer. Okay. And you can do the exact same thing if you have an ebook, a digital product, a products-based business that you want to be able to sell with, or if you have a course, which is also connected to being a product-based type of business. Okay. You want it to be 100% clear. Every time you put an offer out there, you don't want to miss, because you're going to hit all of these different points, because now you have a formula to be able to position your offer, right? You're going to hit the bullseye and the target. So I got a call to action for the action takers that are here with me. Okay. It's important that, you understand that when you're building a business, that if there are certain things that you're missing, it's going to be kind of hard to, I would say, pivot from that point. Like, you'll stay stuck 100%. And so I'm not a negative person, but I'm a person that lives in reality, and being in business for the amount of time that I've been in, I have seen certain things that entrepreneurs do in particular that keeps them stuck, that really doesn't have to keep them stuck. If you would just make sure that you're implementing certain things, then you will see the results that you want to see. So like I said, I'm going to give you a call to action. Anytime you join one of my lives with regards to building a business, as I teach over these 30 days, you're always going to get a CTA, right? And that CTA connects to the homework that I gave you. You're going to write out your I help statement as a business owner, and then draft up one clear offer. Now, I have an offer for you. If you are wanting to build a cleaning business, just like I was able to build as a mom of 3, a new single mom, okay, who found herself in a very hard position, to where as I lost my corporate job at the time and had to figure things out, because at the end of the day, I had to take care of my children. And if you were compelled to want to know how I went ahead and I built my 5-figure online remote cleaning business, meaning to say this is a service-based business, but I don't have to leave my home to do it. Okay. I set up the systems and the strategy to be able to run this business from home. Okay. Now, there are certain things that I like to do to kind of connect with the community. That's how my business is structured. It's a remote cleaning business, in that I never have to be connected to my cleaners. I never even have to see them if I don't want to. Right. Even when it comes to obtaining the leads you can get online. All right. You can send somebody a DM on Instagram and have a contract, because that's the world that we live in. You can send business owners that are on LinkedIn that own companies a proposal, okay, and end up having a contract. This is the world that we live in. But if you really want to learn the structure of this particular business and you would like to book a consultation with me, you can feel free to send me a DM. And once you go ahead and you send me a DM, then we'll take the conversation from there and get connected to make sure that we're a good fit. Because I believe that chemistry matters. I'm not out here just trying to make a dollar, but the people that I connect to you on the basis of believing that we're a good fit for each other. Upcoming, I will have an ebook that I'm putting together that's going to be able to help you to structure your cleaning business. I'm trying to put all of the morsels of goodness inside of this ebook. So if you're more of a person that knows that you're an action taker and essentially you just want to have the information and you want to just go ahead and implement it, then you'll have the opportunity to be able to do that with that ebook, okay? And even if that's something that you're interested in, you can go ahead and shoot me a DM and say, hey, Tamia, when the ebook is ready, you can go ahead, you can drop your email address, and then I'll go ahead and make sure that I send you the link to be able to purchase the ebook, okay? So if all hearts and minds are clear, if you don't have any questions specifically about anything that I taught here about building your foundation, setting up your brand and your offer, or anything as it pertains to building a remote cleaning business, then I'm going to make sure that I'm online tonight, probably at about 8, 9 o'clock, because I'm going to be teaching this again. Because I want as many people that are building online businesses to understand that there's some structure and some meat that you need in order to build your business. You don't want to just build a business that has a terrible foundation, essentially, right? You don't want to have shiny object syndrome. And I know sometimes this stuff can be heavy to hear, right? When it comes to, oh, I got to have an offer. Oh, I got to have a strategy. In all of this, if you just build the business out from the jump, once you get to the shiny object syndrome part, you would have already had this stuff in place. And honestly, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard at all. Okay. So I had some questions. This has been on my mind since the beginning of last year. I'm ready to lock in. Are you still here, Shemaya? Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I think I had sent you an email today, right, Shemaya? Can you let me know in the comments? And can you guys do me a favor? I see 2 people in here. Can you tap up the screen so that the live is activated? Can you tap up the screen if you're still in the building? Send some hearts on the screen, because then that lets TikTok know that I'm teaching live, and then it activates it to go out to other people to be able to see. So Shemaya, if you're still here, I believe I sent you an email you're here for a consultation. So if you don't have an email for a consultation, if you're ready to go, then make sure you send me a DM and I'll get you an email with the link to the application. Okay. All right. So do you have any other questions with regards to the cleaning business while you have me here, or anything with regards to starting an online business? I'll be happy to answer it. I'll give you guys a few minutes. And do me a favor, if you're still in here, make sure you tap the screen for me, because then that'll let TikTok know that I am teaching, and I'll be on here every day for the next 30 days. Hold on, guys. So no questions. Thank you for tapping the screen. I appreciate it. No questions, Shemaya? Well, you have me live. I'll be on here tonight. Thanks so much. All right, so I'll be back on here tonight. Remember that you want to do your homework. Make sure that you are taking that call to action, and you are writing down your help statement. Who do you want to help? Even with the cleaning business, it's important. Not at the moment. I'll probably join you later. That's fine. No problem. I'll be on here for the next 30 days, so you can catch me whenever you have a chance. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I will see whoever's going to be on here later, and we're going to go ahead and go through it again. All right. See you later. Bye.